Today we're going to learn a new story type, and the story type is called the anecdotal story. And the anecdotal story, I've seen lots of people share anecdotal stories, and it works. They can be really, really long, or they can be a little bit shorter, right? But it is a longer story, and it's almost thinking about coming back to what is the one thing that you are solving for your customers. So as an example, use the guy that I saw this morning. He guides you, right? So guidance. And then think about a time when, it's a really very personal story that you experienced around guidance. And you can literally, you take us on a story journey, a story arc of taking people on a journey, and then you have a call to action about and linking that to your business. Facebook person, I tested a lot of anecdotal stories at the start of this year. And once people realize that there's a call to action about the business on personal Facebook, engagement comes down. So I'd probably say if you're going to write one anecdotal story per, let's say, if you wrote one a week, then the fourth one's going to be a call to action, right? Build the engagement around who you are. They're really good stories to tell. They're going to require a little bit of imagination. They're very feeling stories. So we want to break up the facts. You can still use the structures of setting the scene, using a hook, setting the scene, taking us on a journey. If you remember, there was a fourth story structure that I taught, which was characters, right? Characters, conflict, crossing, conclusion. So the crossing can be quite a long crossing. Anyway, let's show you. Here is an anecdotal story. So it reads, the story takes a lot of practice, but when you get it right, it's a wonderful tool to engage people who seem to just come out of the woodwork, right? Especially around, Facebook personal stuff. It's like people that just, you don't know where the algorithm's going to serve that particular person, but if it gets, lots of engagement, it's amazing how many people jump in. And really, I use it as a surprise and delight, and sometimes as a call to action around something that I offer in business. And it's important to align to your values, be clear on what those values are, and stick to them. And the secret is to take people on a journey, a linear experience of something that happened. And it can be the most random things. I mean, I'm sure you all agree that, particularly with Facebook personal, can be the most stupidest things that people experience in life that cause the most comment, right? I thought about writing a story about India and potholes, right? I had an experience of potholes, and then you can talk about the potholes, and then you can talk about the orange cones, and it's just, but it's personal, as if you were there, you are on the journey telling the story all the way through. So the core idea of your story needs to connect with the problem that you solve in business, right? So one core thought. So I'll give you an example for that in just a moment. Well, here's an example, right? I posted this on LinkedIn and personal Facebook. And the problem that I was talking about was value for money. There was the one thing I was talking about, value for money. And it's a personal experience, because the guy that just turned off the fire alarm, this is a story about me visiting him. And I just went, you've got to be kidding me. $28 for a donut and sandwich? That is obscene. Who in their right mind would get away with a price tag like that? That's what I thought when I went into Little and Friday's Ponsonby store on Saturday. But you can hear that, but there were signs like well-dressed metrosexuals sipping on lattes outside the store, a queue of 8 people waiting to be served, every one of those people drooling at the deliciously presented cakes and morsels in the display cabinet, thinking maybe I'll have one of those custard numbers, tummies yelling at owners. The server carefully placed my giant-sized donut with whipped cream and custard and dollop of jam into the bag with my Reuben sandwich. Described the Reuben sandwich. It was amazing. Were those two items worth 28 hard-earned bucks? Hell yeah. And then I did a picture of me having just eaten a donut with cream all over my face. Some people just looked at the picture and didn't read the story and made some poor comment, but that's right, right? I got value for my $28. It's the same with my sell by, this is the program, right? Call to action. I promise, guaranteed, it's $100 a week. You know, you could get that back in one story and you won't have cream on your face. Tie in something relating from that back to the story. So, what do you think? And Nikki is like going, now this is, you know how you're the writing longer content queen writer? Go for it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like it's almost like the most boring, mundane things, right? I did a story about my vegetable garden, and it's just the engagement. I'm still getting people commenting now.
Mm.
So think about, if you think about what does a vegetable patch deliver? It delivers growth, delivers food. It's about growing and food. Does that apply to business?
Mm.
Yes, it does. Excellent. Dylan, can you give me an ordinary thing? And then we'll see if we can make that about something in real estate. It's not a real estate story. It's not a house story. It's just a mundane task that you have to do on a Saturday morning. Hint, hint, without a cold.
Well, often I'm putting up my signs on a Saturday morning on the roads, preparing for directing people for open homes.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So we're coming back to a personal experience, not to do with what you do.
oh, not to do with what I do.
Nothing to do with what you do.
Oh, I mean, normally I go to, I mean, similar to you, my morning starts, I drive to Cream Cafe. Annie, who I often forget her name, remembers my name and says, Dylan, you want the this and that, and which is a chai, almond milk large chai, and something gluten free.
Excellent. So what does that cafe give you?
Um, actually, I only go because the waitress remembers my name and greets me every time in there, so I feel um,
So they,
validated or happy.
which is as a person, what are they giving you?
Um, I don't know, acknowledgement or
Good service.
good service. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Excellent. Cool. Does good service relate to something that you do in your business?
Yeah, well, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
cool. Excellent. Nice. Right. All we're doing here, you can hear that what we're doing is you're going to write a story. Shortly, you're going to write a story of going, start with the hook. Uh, I can't do without it. I wake up, jump out of bed, put on my favorite orange slippers, and I just can't wait to get to said cafe. Right. And I whip on something warm on a Saturday morning because it's a wee bit chilly outside. Feel. We'll go outside, get into the garage, drive in my little Tesla. Yep. And go and have that experience, right? Tell the story. It's a very short story. Nikki, what's a mundane thing that you do that could relate to something that you deliver in business?
Well, I was thinking about a story that happened the other night when we had that torrential rain,
Mm-hmm.
and
And what happened?
I wasn't prepared for it.
Okay, cool.
So there was a
Excellent.
flood. There was a flood because my
Excellent.
drains outside the house got blocked,
Cool.
and
how did
suddenly I'm out in my PJs and gumboots at 2 o'clock in the morning, sweeping 6-inch water away from the house.
Yeah. And it relates to being prepared for retirement, being prepared for
Yeah,
the
so
unexpected.
that when bad times come, they often come in bucket loads, all at once, and you can get overwhelmed. Well, it felt like a biblical downpour. It felt like someone was tipping a huge bucket of water
And
all over.
all of the God-fearing people in your Facebook group will be, including Emma, they'll be like going, oh, how can you use God? It's like, that's like, it all starts conversations. Right. Cool. What's another one? Cool. There's one story, right?
Mm.
Now, we're getting into it pretty quickly because you'll be writing that story in about 3 minutes.
Eek.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's no, I say linear, so it's almost like moments you can describe the thing, the steps. It has to go in that order. And it's not just the thing that you're doing, but can also be the thing that you're thinking and the thing that you're feeling. And therefore they can have different words to describe the thing. So if we were using the example of there was a downpour outside, or there was a downpour at 8 p.m. at night, I was thinking, will have I emptied out my gutters? And I'm, geez, am I going to get things? And I'm feeling worried because I've just paid out a IRD payment, and I'm not sure if I can get new gutters. Right? You can see that we've just described one fact, but there's a thinking and a feeling in there from that fact. Yeah. What I'd say to you is you could add a feeling word. Again, it has to align to your values. But I've used words like boom or God or geez or right? Breaking up the text, breaking up the story, because it's all feeling pieces. Emma, what's a boring, mundane thing that you do that relates to something that you solve in your business?
I make sure I take my dog for a walk.
Okay, what's your dog's name?
Obi and Bella.
Okay, cool. And where do you take them?
I take them around the neighborhood, Sunny Nook Park.
Okay, cool. Excellent. And what is the link between walking your dogs and something that you solve for customers?
I think just have to persist doing the things that you need to, rather than, every day just sit down and just doing million stuff. If I very disciplined, do my work, have a clear mind,
Yep.
my
Cool.
day goes better. I think same as business, you need to
sometimes you need to
look,
get out. You need to get out from behind your desk and go for a walk, right?
yeah, or do the things that persistently check your stuff and have
Nice.
just,
Cool.
yeah, that's what I think.
So are you happy to write a story about dog walking?
Too hard.
Oh, I love you already. It's like, too hard. Can you just turn around and read that little thing on the behind?
What?
Yeah, what does it say?
Never give up.
Excellent, cool. What's the one behind your other thing? Yeah, it says, I can and I will.
Yes, I can.
I can and I will. So are you going to write that story now, Emma?
Yes, I can and I will.
Excellent, cool. Right. I'll give you, it's almost like really go hard on the setting the scene, almost like really build that out, right? So for Dylan, the first 5 lines of your story or sentences, well, you haven't even left the house yet. You are just dreaming of your chai latte. And how does that make you feel when you have that sip, that moment, and I'm just using flowery kind of words, but you're building up the experience of what that service looks like. And Nikki, I think this anecdotal story, it's made for you. It's made for you especially.
Yeah.
I will give you 15 minutes and then we'll come back and share. All right. I'll give you some quiet time. You can turn off your cameras so you don't have to look at us. And then we'll come back to you soon. How you going?
I
Yeah,
always
good.
struggle writing stuff. But I'm
You need a little poster like Emma Wong's got hers behind her wall. You know, I can and I will.
I do need those posters.
And you know, it can be really. I saw a late friend of mine. She's a business coach, and her program is business coaching for women. And she talked about school holidays and her child school holidays, right? And there was something in, you know, I just read the first half of the story. It was great. It was, oh my God, energetic kid, and I've got to keep them busy. And, you know, it's all relatable stuff to all these mums, right? So if you can make the story relatable to your audience, even better, because it's like, her story was particularly long. I don't have quite the attention of hanging on, especially when I know it's talking about children and school holidays, when it doesn't really affect me. So I'm not her audience. It's okay.
Mm.
So who wants to start us off? Dylan, seeing you were first in the room today. And there's no judgment. Just give it a crack and tell us the story. And if we see, you can, out of the corner of your eye, if you're reading your story, is you're looking at John, Nikki, and Emma react to your story, either nodding, because like when I told the story about the blind person, I could see you nodding, going, oh yeah, cool, get that. Nodding, smiling, relatable. 3, 2, 1, hit it.
My weeks are stressful. So before I start my day, the one thing I look forward to before I dare think about work or doing anything is a large takeaway spicy chai latte and scrumptious treat from Cream Cafe on Harris Road. The thought of this puts a spring in my step and propels me into the day with a cheerful demeanor. I'm changed into my work clothes, jump into my car, ready for the 6-minute drive down the road to fulfill my morning indulgence. I take a final right turn and then a left into Cream, leap out of my car, run to the door, and I'm greeted with a, "Oh, hi, Dylan. How are you?" I reply, "Oh, I'm great, thanks. How are you, Annie?" She says, "Yeah, I'm really good. The same. Spicy chai and a gluten-free treat." I let her pick the treat. And that's all I got up to writing, but
Excellent. Beautiful. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. How would you think it would progress to a call to action? What is it?
So I could probably say something like about exceptional customer service, and that motivates people to take action. I would say,
Well, it
because
just makes you feel good, right?
yeah, feel good. Yeah, I
Yeah,
suppose.
it makes you feel good. And then it's like, you know, and you can use the thing. It's the same in my business. You know, I provide excellent customer service. I've taken that from Annie and I've applied that to my customers, and that's what you're always going to get from me.
Yeah, okay. It doesn't have to be a
in story.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You could say customer service like that is very rare, and that's what keeps me going back, and then relate it to your business.
Perfect. Nice. Any other critique? Any other feedback from the people who don't like to say much, Emma?
I think it's good to set out the story. We'll be looking forward to finish the story, you know, link all those back to what about our business.
Yeah, I really liked the left, right, and the right turn. And, you know, there was just, I could see that, right? I could see you driving left turn, right turn. And, you know, you could put a few little moments at that, you know, I could feel I was drooling at the thought of my chai latte.
Yeah.
You know, while you're driving, because there's thinking going on, thinking, feeling, doing. what are you doing, or what's happening, and what are you thinking about? And it can be unrelated to, it's like if you think about, and when Annie greeted me and she just said, hello, Dylan, or you could tell the thing where you kind of you forgot her name, but as soon as you could weave that narrative into it. She says, hi,
Yeah, yeah.
Dylan, and then you think, oh, I come every day and I can't remember her name. That's actually a bit of a vulnerable piece, right? Because sometimes would
Yeah,
you
yeah,
would
yeah.
you share that? But that's marvelous, marvelous. You've probably got maybe another 5 more sentences to write, and that's ready for posting. And it's a good Saturday morning post. Nikki, well done, Dylan.
I haven't quite finished, but I will read out what I wrote.
Yep. 3, 2, 1, hit it.
You know, when you get one of those winter storms that only Auckland can deliver? Well, last week we had one of those in the middle of the night with a downpour of biblical proportions. I was worried because I knew I had a gutter that was leaking, and the drip in my kitchen ceiling had been getting progressively worse. But that was just the start of the problems. The stormwater drainage around my patio was blocked, and a river of mud and silt was running straight down my driveway and garden path in torrents down towards the house. The thing about water is that it follows the path of least resistance, and if you have not taken preventative measures to plan for a series of events like this, you can be in big trouble. Next thing I knew, I was out there in my PJs and gumboots with a broom, attempting to sweep the water away from my patio and the threshold of my door. Disasters often come in bucket loads. Before you know it, you're in all kinds of trouble. That's as far as I go.
Good. Good. I like the PJs and I could see your driveway, right? All I was just picturing your driveway and you in your PJs kind of getting the shovel out and going, shit. I think there's a few more emotional pieces you can put in there, like shit, like, oh my God, I'm screwed. Again, I use that language. You might not, but I thought, and there was one piece where you sort of said, where if you don't, and you kind of move from first person to as if you were thinking it.
Mm.
And I would try and stay in first person, but you could say, I thought of that time when I wasn't prepared, because if you're not prepared, then it can just, so it's a thinking piece rather than telling.
Mm.
But yep.
And can I then relate it to something? So what I was thinking in my head was, it's like old age. You can't just let it happen to you. It's something that needs to be prepared for. Not only from a financial point of view, but from a health point of view. And
yeah, I would probably choose one of those. It's kind of like it's just the being prepared for the unexpected, right? That's the story. And if you're not prepared for what's going to come in your financial world or even your health world, then you're going to get dumped on big time, whether your gutters are going to overflow, and it's not going to be pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could have some call to action of, I'm holding a seminar on how to prepare for unexpected events so you're financially secure. Right? That would be the call to action piece.
Thank you.
Nice. Emma, walking the dogs. I'm so excited. I can and I will.
Wow. Okay, not talking too much about, but anyway. It's Monday morning, 6:30, so cold and dark outside. I really want to stay on bed longer, but so many things that are going through my head. What is for breakfast, lunch, dinner, office meeting, school run, teachers and parents interview? What else? GST due, PAYE, cash flow forecasting, and to be ready for the Friday meeting. Oh, and I also have to order the ink for the office printer. The list can be go on. Now it's 7 a.m. I still have not yet done my mindfulness and still thinking million stuff on my list. But I said to myself, my health is the first priority. So I will give myself 10 minutes for mindfulness and then take Obi and Bella out for walk. It's like running your business. What is the basic things that you need to take care of before anything else? It's your health check for your business, like cash flow, bank account, sales, customer journey, and staff communication.
Very
And
good.
yeah, and it was like maybe you can link the
Very
things
good.
that I was going to
Did
do.
you just see people clapping and people nodding, Emma?
That was great.
That was a creative writing piece.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? Oh,
yeah.
And you finished the entire story. And it wasn't even really about walking the dogs.
yeah, that's right.
It
Just
was, you know, yeah.
But it also you listed things that, the priorities and the important things. And so there was the overwhelm, and then it was like the things that you should do first. And my head was going, oh yeah, she's right. I need to get that. So, yeah, it makes you kind of like, oh yeah, that's me. And that's what you want, isn't it, John? People going,
Absolutely.
oh yeah, I relate to that.
Yep. Yep.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I thought, the list of things that I would probably try and say that in layman's terms, right? Don't use accountancy terms in your first part of your list. Try and use some list of things, school. I mean, I got school run, school lunches, and you're building out this family thing. You're talking your personal experience, and then it's like there's some other business things, like I've got a staff meeting, the ink cartridge I totally got, but then you kind of listed 3 or 4 accounting related things, and I
Yeah.
went, probably you
this
could
accountant, do you see?
pull those out there and put them at the back
Okay.
end,
Okay.
because I felt it was it was there, but it was, do people think about 3 accounting things in a row?
Oh, you do on the 20th, you have to do, and the 28th, you have to do GST. I'm pretty sure people look at that today, 19th. Oh, PAYE. 28th. By the way, it's Matariki Day, so you don't need to do GST until 1st of July.
I'm
Anyway.
glad you remember those dates. That's marvelous. Yeah, that's good. Well, look, that is the anecdotal story.